بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the broadcasts by the Lahore Ahmadiyya community. Today it is Tuesday, the 14th of September 2021. And in our series, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 253. And in this broadcast, we are looking at Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 91. And this is the 10th broadcast in considering verse 91 of Al-Baqarah. Just to remind you that the Lahore Ahmadiyya community was founded by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and his teachings were that although people say that another prophet will come after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet is Khatmun Nabiyyin, and the Holy Prophet says, La Nabi Abadi, no prophet shall come after me. So that means that no prophet old or new can now come. But the Holy Prophet also said that if the Ummah falls into error and needs reform, reformers, Mujaddadeen, will come. And he specifically mentioned one with the titles Messiah and Mahdi. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was one of the Mujaddids, but the one who was described as Messiah and Mahdi by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Now, the Holy Prophet also said, and Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib insisted on this, that if one reciter of the Kalima says to another reciter of the Kalima, you are not a Muslim, then it is the person saying it who is not a Muslim. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad stressed this. Further, he said that people say parts of the prophetic revelation that the Holy Prophet Muhammad received, such as Ayah Rajam and Surah Walayat, are missing from the Holy Quran. This is untrue. All prophetic revelation that the Holy Prophet received is with us in the form of the Holy Quran. Similarly, many people say that parts of the Holy Quran have been abrogated. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, no part of the Holy Quran was, is, or ever shall be abrogated. And he stressed that jihad is a duty of every Muslim. But jihad as defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, not by some faqih or some Maulana. When the Holy Prophet returned from fighting, he said that Muslims are returning from the lesser jihad to the greater jihad, and explained that the greater jihad is to fight against your own desires. Jihad bin nafs, greed, selfishness, envy, enmity. The list is a long one and you know it. This is the real jihad, and of course, if there is a need to, and you need to defend your property or your person with a sword, then of course you do that. But the daily jihad is jihad bin nafs. As I said, we are pursuing chapter 2, verse 91. So let us see what it says. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا بما أنزل الله قالوا نؤمن بما أنزل علينا ويكفرون بما وراءه وهو الحق مصدقا لما معهم قل فلم تقتلون أنبياء الله من قبل إن كنتم مؤمنين. Last time we looked at the word qablu, and today we are going to look at the word mu'minin. We all know this word and we all use it frequently. So let us see what it means according to the Holy Quran. The root, the masdar of this word is Hamza Mim Noon. And it appears in the Holy Quran a large number of times. The root, 879 times, and as 17 different words or 17 derived forms, such as 537 times we have the word amana, and then 202 times we have the word mu'min. So that's, I guess, the majority of times, because that's 740 times. And then we have the word that occurs 45 times, Iman. And then 22 times the word Mu'minat. And then 20 times the word Amina. And then 14 times the adjective Amin. And then 10 times the word Aminin. And 10 times Aminin, and then you have 6 times and 5 times and so on. And if you look at that, فَإِذَا آمِنْتُمْ, you are secure. فَإِنْ آمِنَ بَعْضُكُمْ, chapter 2, verse 283, entrusts. Qala hal amanukum. I entrust you. Believe. Allazina yu'minuna bil ghaibi wa yuqimuna as-salat. Chapter 2, verse 3. And again in the following verse, Wallazina yu'minuna bima unzila ilayka. To believe. And that occurrence is a whole lot of times. And then you get, if I can find where the believe next meaning is, by the time it's taking me to get to the next derived form. Entrusted. Chapter 2, verse 283. Allazi tamina. And then trusts. Something you leave with something. Wallazina hum li amanatihim. They trust something that is left to you. And then again, trust in the sense, inna aradnal amanat. The trust. Security. And of course, from that, you have the adjective trustworthy, ameen. The Holy Quran says, Inni lakum rasulun ameen. It says that about 5 or 6 times. So, the root Hamza Mim Noon represents a state. A state where you're without fear, you're relaxed. It's a state, as I said, where you feel safe. As it says in chapter 2, verse 240. When you are in state of aman, when you're secure. Obviously, if you're secure, then you're not feeling fear or stress. I mean, just think of the few months ago, COVID, how everyone was stressed. And during COVID and after COVID, there are still sort of people are saying, oh, kids have mental health problems and parents have mental health problems and so on. So, Ibn Faras said that this is the opposite of dishonesty. And it means contentment. And it also means someone who testifies to something. And amana basically means to make someone free of fear, to put them in a state of peace, to accept the responsibility of protecting them. And so you have another form derived from it, and that is to trust someone, to depend on someone, to consider someone so trustworthy that you can leave your most precious possessions with them. And then, of course, we have another derivation, which is mu'min, which has been used here. And it's translated like here, if you were believers. But if you think about it, it could be translated, it could be trusted, if you could be trusted. You're saying, we believe in the revelation that came to us. So the Holy Quran is challenging the Israelites. You say you don't believe in the revelation that has been sent to the Holy Prophet, but you believe in the revelation that was sent to your prophets. And then the Holy Quran asks this question. Well, if you could be trusted, why is it that you humiliated and killed and ridiculed the prophets that came to you? Now you're telling the Holy Prophet Muhammad, oh, look, what those people brought, yeah, that's fine. We believe in that. It's only what you brought that we don't accept. So the Holy Quran is then asking them, if that is the case, then how is it that the prophets that came to you, who came to you, you humiliated them and you killed them? See, Mu'min is the person who guarantees aman, who guarantees security. Yeah, you can say, well, okay, XYZ, government or country or individual or organization, they've guaranteed my security. Well, then I don't have to worry about anything. I'm relaxed now. In fact, the person who guarantees universal peace. But can this be said about those countries where Muslims are in a majority? There are many Muslim countries. Can we say that the minorities in those countries are fine and happy, and that they can leave their security to the government or security forces or whoever it is? We see in many Muslim countries minorities in constant fear. In constant fear. And sometimes people say, well, if they only became Muslims, then everything would be fine. Why do they have to remain whatever their religion is, Christian or Hindu or whatever? And the Quran says there's no compulsion in religion. So why should these people accept Islam? You have to convince them. How did people embrace Islam at the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad? The Holy Prophet Muhammad convinced them. His character convinced them. And they embraced Islam. All right, let's take another example. People say, well, about minorities and so on. What about women? Are they safe? There are many Muslim countries, I don't want to name any, we all know them. Can a woman go out at night without protection? I don't think so. In one Muslim country, a woman who was actually lived in France went to a Muslim majority country, and she was going from A to B, and her car ran out of petrol, and she asked for help. And before the help could arrive, some men saw this and they raped her. What kind of security is that? So minorities are not safe and women are not safe. So who's safe? Who are you providing this security to? You're claiming to be Mormons, you're claiming to be true believers. But true believers, someone doesn't become a true believer just because they say with their own, just with their tongue, oh, I'm a true believer. Oh, that's fine. You have to prove it by your actions. And what did the chief superintendent of police say? His words are instructive. We need to remember them. He said, why was this stupid woman out all on her own on the motorway at night? Then he went on to say, did she think this was France where she'd be safe? I repeat, he said, did she think this is France where she would be safe on her own at night? Let me then ask a rhetorical question. Which country is Islamic then? France, of which she was a national, or the country where she was raped? A high official of the Muslim state admits that women are not safe. It's not safe for them to travel. So where are these moments that we hear so much about? According to the Holy Quran, Mu'min means someone who guarantees safety for others. The Holy Prophet, as I said to you, 5 or 6 times, the Holy Quran, the Holy Prophet is referred to as being Amin. And people say, well, someone who can be trusted. Yes, I agree. But what it means is that if you put your trust in the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he guarantees your safety. What happened at the time of, I think, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah? Muslims entered into a treaty, and the treaty had been signed, and a Muslim came in chains. He was a slave. He'd managed to escape. He was bleeding. He'd been lashed. He was black and blue. And he begged the Holy Prophet to take him to Medina with him. And the Holy Prophet said, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. If you'd come 10 minutes early, maybe I could have. But I have now signed a treaty. that says that if any Muslim seeks sanctuary with me, I have to return them. I have to return you. See, you could trust the Holy Prophet Muhammad. But would you trust any of the Muslim governments, any of the Muslim leaders? So on what basis do we say that what we are doing is the way we are behaving will lead to propagation of Islam? What grounds do we have? We don't have any. I've just shown you. Momin means someone who guarantees world peace. Momin means someone who guarantees the safety and security of every single person living under his protection. There were scenes on the BBC some years ago when someone who'd been charged with blasphemy was found not guilty by the High Court of that country. He was charged, arrested. The police brought a case against him, and the High Court said he's innocent. He hasn't done anything. These are false charges. And an armed personnel carrier had to be sent to the court to bring the person out. And while that armed personnel carrier waited outside the court, people attacked it with iron bars and baseball bats and God knows what else, and pelted it with bricks. And people in Britain rightly said, what's the point of having courts? It's your court. It's an Islamic court. It's the High Court of a Muslim majority country that has said this man, there were two of them actually, I think, that these people haven't done anything wrong. And yet the mob still wants them killed. Why? Doesn't the constitution of that country guarantee these people's safety? If not, what kind of an Islamic country is it? What does it guarantee its citizens? It doesn't seem to guarantee anything. Even physical security. Forget about means of sustenance. Doesn't even guarantee their physical security even after people have been found innocent and released by the High Court. And yet we say, we are the guardians of the teachings of the Holy Quran and the Holy Prophet Muhammad. They've been entrusted to us. So how are we protecting them? How are we protecting those people who need protection? Women and minorities and even children whom we exploit with child labor and slave labor. We need to think about this. This is why the Holy Quran says, why don't they think? Why don't they reflect? Why don't they consider? This is why the series is called Tadabburul Quran. Because each time I come to the same word again, 1,000 or 10,000 new applications of the concept that word is presenting occur to me. I mean, even if someone were to spend a whole lifetime considering the words of the Holy Quran, I don't think they'll be able to fathom the meaning of the whole book. This is why a Sufi, I can't remember his name offhand, said that for people of understanding, it would have been enough if God had revealed the dot under the bar. But unfortunately, people don't understand. This is why a whole book had to be revealed. But unfortunately, they still don't understand. We have come to the end of our time, so with a prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, I pray that Allah keeps the whole of humanity safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, goodbye.